Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the night stream. Happy New Year, 2024. And with the new year comes new games, new hardware, and the speculation on a new Nintendo Switch. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. I appreciate you guys. Now let's go take a look at a very good talking point via Nintendo Life. Could Nintendo go another year without a Switch successor? This, my friends, is the ultimate question, right, for Nintendo. We've talked about this quite a bit on the Ready to Start podcast with Red Bandana Gaming. And basically predicting, I think that come maybe January, February, March-ish or so, we might get an announcement of a new Nintendo Switch available by the end of the year of 2024. That is my prediction, and we'll see. But what does Nintendo Life have to say? Another year, and here we are. Wondering if the next 12 months might deliver perhaps the most exciting thing for any Nintendo fan, new hardware, which is very true. I drank the Kool-Aid. I'm a Nintendo fan, even though I disagree with some of their company practices. It feels like years now that we've been reporting and discussing another potential Nintendo system, and that's because it has been years. Whispers of a Switch Pro were doing its rounds soon after the original console launched in March of 2017. Wow. And while Switch Lite and Switch OLED reconfigured the base system in modest ways, and the original Switch got a silent internal upgrade with better battery life, it's been nearly 7 full years now since we've got our hands on a totally new Nintendo tech. It's about time. And not only that, the technology that's in the Nintendo Switch was already, I believe, a couple years old. So we're talking about hardware that's already like 10 years old, which is wild, right? On one hand, it's a result of merging handheld and home console lines into one product. There are naturally going to be 50% fewer hardware reveals than in previous generations, but for an industry and audience that thrives on shiny new things, it feels unusual to have a Switch approaching its 8th year at retail without any public announcement or acknowledgement of a successor. You know they've been working on one. They've been working on one for years. It's true that the Switch is a remarkable system. What we've seen with the developers perform miracles on it, which is true. If you look at games like, people want to rip on Mortal Kombat, but hey, you want Mortal Kombat on the go, that thing's cranking out. Harry Potter is on there. The Witcher 3 is on there. My friend played through The Witcher 3 all on Nintendo Switch. Did it look amazing? That's questionable. On a TV, not so much. But for the console to be able to do that, it's impressive. Back to the article here. However, it's also true that its mobile chipset wasn't cutting edge even when it launched. Exactly. And then the work involved to bring third-party titles to Nintendo gamers these days would be significantly easier in many cases if devs had a little more horsepower to play with. This is true. Obviously, no sane person is expecting a PS5 level performance from Switch 2, but using some 2020 or 2021 vintage silicone perhaps would give a massive boost over the mid-2010s tech powering the current console. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's easy now, right, to make games if you know what you're doing, especially with the game engines these days, make things a lot simpler. Obviously, depending on what you're trying to make, but so, however, surveying the last year of Switch releases with Game of the Year level gems like Zelda, Mario Wonder, bolstered by Pikmin 4. What is that? Theater Rhythm, that's spelled Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line. Never heard of it, sorry. Persona 5. I keep hearing how great Persona is. Super Mario RPG that's opened and never played and still sitting on my couch. Sea of Stars, I heard is good. Blasphemous 2. A Red Dead port. Octopath 2. Doesn't feel like a regular console's 7th year lineup, and that only scratches the surface. In fact, we looked back on previous Nintendo systems, 7th years, and it's clear that Switch's rude software health at this point in its life cycle is a trait inherited from its handheld ancestors, which generally enjoy a longer shelf life than their home-based brethren. With development times and costs going up across the board, Sony and Microsoft would likewise love to extend console life cycles as long as possible. And with all the quality games coming out on Switch, it's arguably only old habits and expectations making us antsy for the smell of new hardware. Who needs a Switch 2? If we get another year of bangers like the one we just had, question mark. Switch's hardware sales figures make it the most compelling argument that we're unlikely to get through 2024 without an announcement, though. I agree. We're going to at least get an announcement at some point this year with what Nintendo is going to be doing. We would assume bundles sold fairly well over the holidays. We'll find out how well Nintendo's next financial report in February. But hardware sales are waning. Quarterly Switch sales went from 3.07 million reported on May 2023 to a Zelda bumped 3.91 million. That's insane. In August and 2.93 million in November. They're still selling these consoles, guys. It's crazy, right? It's crazy to think how much they actually sold. It's insane. Yes, the Thanksgiving Christmas period will almost certainly provide a bump in last quarter's results, and those numbers aren't to be sniffed at. But year on year, they're steadily going down. Without an unprecedented price cut, it seems improbable that Nintendo will sell the 20 million plus Switches needed to catch up with Nintendo DS and PS2 at 154 million and 155 million, respectively. And imagine Target that this writer doubts Nintendo would be too bothered about missing, certainly not at the cost of derailing plans next system. Switch has been a massive success regardless where it ends up. All-the-time bestsellers, Podium. Company will be looking to kickstart its next cycle before those figures nosedive much further, and the quarterly shareholder Q&As becoming a barrage of "What's next, Mr. President?" Of course. Reality at this stage that anybody who really wants a Switch has got at least one already. This is true. And at this point, it seems very optimistic to expect new Switch games of Tears of the Kingdom and Mario Wonder's caliber. We'd love to be proved wrong, and there's still plenty to look forward to. Regardless, this feels like a good year for Switch to go out on a high. And for Nintendo to put out some new driftless Joy-Con with its next system, that would be nice. Ooh, you like that little jab they put at the end? Thanks, Nintendo. They just basically haven't fixed the drift. They're just like, whatever. We'll just replace them. Good luck with that one. Takes forever. So let's take a look here at the results here. Do you think for this survey, do you think 2024 could come and go without Nintendo revealing its next console? No. I'm hesitant to say that a new one will be coming out this year. But I know we're going to hear an announcement. We're definitely going to hear a big announcement from Nintendo this year, and I think it's going to be around the end of quarter one. We also it'll definitely get announced. Not sure if it'll launch this year, though. That's what I'm going for. Other options possibly, but I can't see them going a whole other year on Switch alone. And then another one, they keep putting out great games. What's the rush? Nope, we won't be hearing about Switch 2 before 2025. Let's see here. A lot of us are saying it'll definitely get announced. Not sure if it'll launch this year, though. I'm 50-50. It might. Nintendo can just potentially come out of left field here in a way and say, oh, by the way, it's going to be available this year. We have a high amount of people, 24%, saying no way a brand new Nintendo system is coming out this year. I think that's high hopes. Realistically, definitely get announced. Not sure if it'll happen this year. But hey, what do you guys think? What's your opinion on Nintendo and the Switch in general? Would you want to go another year with just what Nintendo has been offering? I do believe that, like I said, we're going to hear something. You think we're going to hear something? I don't know. I don't know, but it's exciting, right? 2024 is going to bring us a lot of new games and a lot of new news for all platforms. So let me know what you think down in the comment. That's some news. Appreciate you guys.